Hello, hello, hello. I need to do my little hand thing that I do every time. Oh, look, do you know what? Just as we went live, Amanda froze like that.
Like a rabbit in headlights.
Crazy, crazy. It's okay. No one's got the notification yet to say we're live. No one can see that bit. And let's face it, no one ever hits the replay. Though if you are watching this on replay, you should let us know. Little hashtag replay in the comments. Oh my God, I really am all over the place today. Hello and welcome to today's live lunch. Thank you for tuning in. I think we're having one of those weeks where there's just been tons and tons and tons going on, and we may be all a little bit overexcited and a little bit giddy. 30 seconds before this started, I was literally doing that, that like laughing till you cry thing, and not sure I could catch my breath, but we'll see where today goes. Hopefully everyone's had a fantastic week and they're all organised, unlike us, and they all know what's happening in their world, unlike us. But yeah, it's been a strange one this week. There's so much news, social media wise, from the last couple of weeks. I've got so many tabs open. Not nearly the same number of tabs that Jane has open. I just want to say, Jane's one of those people where you look at a screen and you're like, how many tabs? But yeah, there's just so much going on at the minute. So let's dive straight in. Jane, I'm going to come to you first because I know we just had a quick check. What are you talking about? What had you got and what had I got? And there were a few things that crossed over. So you go with yours first and I'll stop talking for a minute.
Okie dokie. Well, the first one that I saw this morning was Instagram have got rid of their swipe, or are getting rid of their swipe up thing in stories. Normally, if you in a story and it's an approved account, you swipe up at the bottom, it takes you to a website. They're getting rid of that and replacing it with a sticker. So you will do a link sticker. You can position that anywhere on the screen. I think the idea is to actually make people, click through a little bit more. They're going to monitor that over the next few months and see whether it's used for misinformation or spam or various things like that. And I think the idea is they're going to roll it out to everybody in the end. So I think that would be a really, really good thing because, that's what you want, isn't it? You want to drive traffic to your website and get people interested. So, yeah, it's a good one.
Absolutely. And, it's funny because the news broke and I kind of went, oh, that's a really good change. But people were like, breaking news, swipe up is going. What are you going to do now? What do you think to this change? And I'm like, we're getting a cool little sticker instead. I was like, that's cool. So I don't think I was quite as excited by it as a lot of people were. But maybe that's because Instagram just isn't, Instagram isn't my happy place. It's not my home when it comes to, it's not my most, I love Instagram from a personal use perspective, but from a business use perspective, it's not a big favourite. So, I don't think I was quite as excited as a lot of people in the social media world were on that one. So with that swipe up, you only get that option in your stories because this is a feature in stories. You only get it if you've got 10,000 followers, or if you're using a little, if you're creating video and you're doing IGTVs on Instagram, you can put a link into those and then share those into your story. So that's a little hack, kind of a way to get a link into your story if you're not the kind of person that has 10,000 followers on Instagram. My life's not that exciting, so I don't have that on my account yet. I'm either going to eventually get to that number, or my life's about to get very exciting. I'll let you decide which one it's going to be. So cool. So what else did you see, Jane?
TikTok, they are trialing 5-minute videos on their platform. So originally it was 15 seconds, then 60. Last July just on, it went to 3 minutes, and now they're trialing 5. So it'd be an interesting thing to see what happens there, whether they roll it out. Obviously gives people a bit more option to have longer videos, but is that what people want on TikTok? That's the question.
Do you know the speed that TikTok is developing at the minute, the stuff that they're doing? It's there's loads of social media news, but do you I feel like it's all TikTok related?
There is a lot, yeah, definitely.
It's they kind of started this like job board thing, but they've now partnered with, so like the Cyber Security Council or something like that, to do another push on that side as well. And they've got an integration with Canva now as well that they're building into the platform. Just like loads of stuff. It's like every day there's something else TikTok related happening. They're doing so much stuff around how to keep younger I want to say kids, how to keep kids safe using TikTok and that sort of stuff as well. So it's quite interesting when you consider the journey that they've had in terms of, will TikTok get banned or not? You know, just like the age of the company, all this, like the stuff they're doing is mental. It's like they're really, really moving so quickly, and the platform seems quite robust.
Yeah. Well, on that note as well, they're also linking with Shopify so that you can shop directly in the app as well. So that, you know, yet another string to their bow.
Yeah, there was a lot of e-commerce news, and that's kind of gone a little bit quiet again till the last couple of weeks. Because there's something, but something's happened with Instagram and shopping as well, I think, isn't there?
Yeah, there's promoted products in the shop tab now. If you have a shop already set up, you can then promote your items into when people are browsing, basically.
Yeah. It's weird. This time of year, we normally have a bit of a lull. There's not much to talk about, and like I said, it's just. When we first jumped on to do the prep for this, I'd had about 15 different articles open, like things that we could talk about. And Jane had a load of them, and Amanda will come to you in a minute. I know you've got a couple as well, sort of on your data stuff. But yeah, it's like, if I'm just looking at this now, like a lot of mine is just from the last week, because obviously the couple of weeks before I was on holiday or coming back after holiday and playing catch up. But yeah, so TikTok's partnered with the National Cybersecurity Alliance, and that's all about recruitment. That piece of news there. Facebook, so Messenger has turned 10, and they've added some features into Messenger, and some of them are. It's like there's like little reaction things that happen when you type certain words. You can play like poll games in there as well. But one of the things we were giggling about was that you can basically send some money through Messenger as like a birthday gift, but it kind of gets delivered in Messenger, kind of like wrapped up. So when they click on it, it opens up visually, and there's the money, and obviously the money's going straight to your bank account. And then Jane was like, you can do that through online banking. I was like, yeah. And it'd probably be safer. So they've done all these things. There's like a 10th birthday sticker pack for Messenger and stuff like that. So they've added all this stuff to celebrate. But some of it's a bit like, okay. But there we go. Twitter has officially launched their integration with newsletters, but we'll come back to that in a moment. So their integration with Review, which is like a email marketing newsletter platform that they bought. And then the other thing that I noticed, which LinkedIn doesn't always feature that much for us in terms of news articles and that kind of thing. But do you remember us having a giggle because you've on your LinkedIn profile you can add services that you offer, and we had a little giggle back when Amanda added her services, because what happens is you get this little post that says you're open for business. Now, if you're nice, sensible, mature people, that doesn't mean anything. But if you're me, who is the opposite of nice, opposite of sensible, and opposite of mature.
I do remember now when you started saying it.
I was like, oh, Amanda, what have you been up to? But anyway, you had these services on, and it's kind of, it was something that was brought in. It's meant for freelancers. They can say, like, these are the services I can offer. And what they've done is they've expanded that a little bit. So you can put it's almost now, like, instead of it just being keywords on your profile, it's almost like a mini site, a mini profile within LinkedIn. You can add a little about section there. But in the last week, they've now added the option to like add reviews and recommendations on there as well. So if you've got that set up, go into it. You get like 20 credits, which makes me think we're going to have to pay for this further down the line. But essentially, Amanda could use her 20 credits to go out to her previous clients and ask them to leave her, a few stars, to rate her service, or a few words of, people saying, what she's particularly good at. Amanda.
Yes. You started.
So I'm being very nice and sensible and mature right now. I pick my words so carefully. But yeah, like the reviews and ratings thing. So obviously as individuals, we can get recommendations on our profiles, and that's cool because it's like general, it's about everything. But I think these will be a really good way of us being able to use our LinkedIn profiles, and especially for people working on a contract on a freelance basis and getting some words around the way that they work that is kind of specific. Okay, so yeah, I think that's quite cool, but it's like it's a hidden thing on the profile.
Well, and freelancing is it more and more. I think I don't have stats for it, so I'm letting you down on the data Davis side. But if you were looking at how many people are now freelancing, or how many people are now either considering self-employment or have started self-employment as a result of what's been happening in the job market over the last 18 months or 2 years, it really is a space for kind of contractors and freelancers to hang out and display kind of, this is the work I do and this is what people think of it.
Absolutely. So I do have something else to share, but because I know I talk too much and I'm a little bit giddy today, I can feel myself running away with things. So Amanda, you go for it. What have you got?
Well, it's very popular in the office today. I can hear the phone ringing off the hook.
I know. I'm like, I don't know whether I'm toggling on or off this mute button now. It's confusing me.
Well, I have got a few bits and pieces to share this week. I did just want to add one snippet of data based on you just chatting about TikTok. So, and I feel like we talk about TikTok a lot on Live Lunch, but as you say, that's probably because there are so many developments that come through. But in last month's data, Davis, so if anybody read the August issue, I sort of summarised a big report that Hootsuite publish. I think it's every quarter, but this was certainly their kind of digital update. Really meaty report, about 300 pages or so. So I kind of read it and picked through the highlights. But one of the items they mentioned was that TikTok, if you sort of cumulatively searched either TikTok as one word or tick space talk, it was the third most searched term on YouTube last year. I think we all know now, and we mentioned it before, it's the most downloaded app as well for last year. So yeah, it's a rapidly growing platform. But some other highlights that I thought were quite funny were one was that over 50% of internet users aged between 16 and 64 claim to have ordered takeaway food online. So half the people who've got access to the internet in that age group have used it to kind of order a pizza or a curry or something like that. We did a straw poll in the office going, have you ordered anything recently? And it was in the last, the space was the last month, and it was 100%. So it just goes to show that we either have a slightly unhealthy lifestyle at Green Umbrella, or we just like a little treat and a takeaway and a chill out on a weekend. So pizza, anyone?
Yes, please.
Always.
We almost got Subway for lunch in here today. I was like, no. But there you go.
Where I lived a little bit out in the sticks, so we can't get things like Deliveroo, which is a shame. So you can just about get the local curry and Domino's to deliver, but that's it. So I miss out. But there we go. What else did I have kind of data-wise? So this month, so a little bit of a sneak preview for what's coming up in this month's social snippet. I thought it would be useful to focus on email marketing. So I know we've had lots of inquiries about it. It's not going anywhere at all. And I do still think it's almost an underrated area of marketing. People they dabble with it. They might send an email once a month. they don't necessarily have it as a core part of their strategy, but it gives such a big ROI. So one of the stats that I found was that for every dollar, but it is based in the US, every dollar spent gives you an average return of 42.
Wow.
So it's just, to me, it's such a cost-effective way of marketing. If your database isn't huge, you're just starting out, you can use a free platform. But even the paid ones where you can start to segment and personalize, you still get that massive return. So I just think it's such a no-brainer, such an easy way to reach out to, keep that kind of customer advocacy going, keep the referral and word of mouth going, and also to kind of stay in touch with your prospective clients as well and keep them warm, move them along.
It's all about presence. It's all about being front of mind. So I was on a coaching call just before this with one of our recruitment clients and talking about email marketing and starting something with them. The rest of this afternoon, I've got a couple of calls this afternoon, but the rest of it, I am working with Kim here in the office on putting, I think we've got about 4 or 5 different email marketing campaigns that we need to put together for clients. So it's kind of like, it's massive. Everyone's looking at it at the minute. And I think it's that everyone's looking at it now because they're kind of thinking, right, September, like the rest of 2021, we are on it. Now, the thing is, like, why? So when it's something that is like, it always works, success is almost guaranteed with it. So why do people have all these blocks? Like, even in that call earlier, it was but I just don't want to piss people off. And it's like, you're going to send this email to, whether it's hundreds or thousands, there's a chunk of those people that will open it and click and engage. There's a chunk of those people that will go, I'm not interested. And there's a chunk of people that will see it and never get round to reading it. Okay. And it's like, and obviously there's a chunk of people where you just can't get through their filters and whatever else, and unfortunately it doesn't get delivered. We have to accept that. But if you've got, that 1,000 people on your database, let's say, well, it's not a case of 250 won't get it and 250 are going to unsubscribe and 250 are going to read it, 250 are not. Those percentages are all quite different. Like the unsubscribe, we get unsubscribes on our email every week. It's generally, I think it's about 6,500 emails roughly at the minute in our database. We generally get 3 or 4 unsubscribes every week. That's a really tiny percentage. Okay. And it's not that people are pissed off with you. It's that people, perhaps they just don't need the information anymore.
Yeah. They've changed jobs. They've left the business maybe.
Absolutely. It's kind of, I think we is it a British thing? We worry about upsetting people, and because like you look over in the US and it's all really ballsy, isn't it? And it's like, yeah, just fire it off, get it done, funnel, sequence. Whereas over here we're like, we'll send one email and we'll sit back and wait for the results.
Yeah.
Rather than thinking long term. And there's another client a couple of weeks ago, and they're like, oh, we could do 2 or 3 and see how it goes. I'm like, no, you can do it till January. Let's do it for the rest of this year and review it in January, and then decide at that point. And we're looking at doing something every couple of weeks for them. Paul, he said he's never unsubscribed from us. Oh,
I think as well. So there is the kind of, are we spamming people? I think there's a kind of mental blocker for people that think when they're doing email marketing, it has to be a really lengthy email. It has to be kind of a newsletter vibe, and it really doesn't. It can be just like a little reminder or a kind of, did you see it? So, I've had some examples this week where some companies are doing their kind of end of summer sale, and they're sending out, we've got a sale coming up, and then they do the night before they do why don't you put the things in your basket now, and then tomorrow morning check out and just put the code in. And I feel like I should know better, and I shouldn't. I was going to fall for these tricks, but it's products that I wanted. So I was like, absolutely, I will do that. That's a great idea. I'll decide what I want now in the evening, and then at 7 a.m. I'll check out and put the code in, and I get half price. So, but it's just that drip feed, and they're short, snappy emails. So I think that's where sometimes people get the whole, I don't have anything to say. It's like, you don't have to have 2 news stories, a product release, and everything else in there.
Mark loves it. Mark absolutely loves it when a client says, I want to do an email, and they give him the content and it's like 20 different things. You love it. Makes you really happy, doesn't it, Mark?
Well, it's a chance to educate people, maybe. And like Amanda said, you don't have to have all that information in there. And, or even if you want to send that information out, it's the way that you present it to them. So, if you have got like big news articles, don't have a really long email. Just have a snippet of that information and then maybe drive them back to the website. Again, it's thinking about dual purpose of things. So yes, we want that information to get out there, but also it's a fantastic way of literally driving traffic to the website if there's a link in there to go and then read more. So it's a bit like we do with obviously our blog emails on a Friday, where we've got 2 or 3 articles in there, but it's only a snippet of information. And then again, like ours, you can actually automate that as well to a certain degree. So, if you've got an RSS set up, you can feed that into something like MailChimp. So ours, we put our 2 or 3 articles on the website during the week, but we don't touch our Friday email. It just goes out with those snippets on. And then, people then obviously click on the blog, click on the live lunch, whatever's in there.
So some people watching won't know what an RSS is.
Oh, okay. So that's a feed that's coming off your website. So something like WordPress, but there will be feeds on other systems as well. So it's an automated sort of system of your posts or your blogs that can be read by something else. So in this case, we do it in MailChimp, but it just pulls that information automatically from your articles that you've posted on your website. There's probably a better technical answer than that, but
it's much better than mine.
Is it?
Yeah, mine's like, it's this thing and it sends a message. It's this thing and it sends a message, and it stands for, is it really simple syndication?
Yeah,
Only it isn't, because if you can't explain it, it's not that simple, is it?
No.
But yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. Okay. Mark, have you got anything else you wanted to talk about today?
Just customers within realistic deadlines, really, and how you sort of deal with them. And it's crazy sometimes the things that we get. Most website clients, they think, yeah, we can do, that in a few weeks, or, it might even take a bit longer sometimes with certain websites. And, we're very clear on what we need from the client, maybe when the deadlines need to be in. But then just some people, you don't hear from them for like 9 months, and then can we go live tomorrow? And I don't know how to deal with it. What would you say, Christina?
Shocking.
Yeah. Okay, right. So here's what's happened. Right, the podcast is 1 year old next week. It was the 31st of August that I launched the podcast, and we've been working on this website. When I say we, basically months and months ago, I said to Mark, I really want a website for the podcast. Can we do it? He had a little bit of downtime. So he started, and he got it so far, and he's like, Christina, here you go. I need you to approve this. Now I need you to give me these like 3 really simple, easy things to produce. So I just went off and did other things, basically. And then this morning, so I've sent the episode off to be edited. Like one of the phone calls that's been coming through is actually the guys editing the podcast, because they got a question based on something I've said in there. Christina, lastminute.com, when it comes to her own stuff, absolutely on it for clients. But then, so I've sent that off and it's in edit, and I'm thinking, really should have planned ahead and should have done something around, the first anniversary of the podcast. And I went, I know, we could launch the website. But I literally had that thought at about 7:30 this morning. And then I was like, no, there'd be too much to do. And then I've kind of rationalized it in my head until some content needs writing. I don't like writing copy. So I've got that sorted. And at 9:30 this morning, I rang Mark and I went, do you think you could do this, this and this in the next 48 hours? Basically, it's the 31st on Tuesday, bank holiday Monday. It's Thursday lunchtime now. Like sometimes we complain about clients being needy. I am the needy client. We complain sometimes about clients that have not given us a proper brief. I've asked him to do something in 2 days without actually telling him specifically what it is I want him to do.
I've literally got 5 words on an email.
They're the pages I need.
Minus your privacy policy.
Right, so, like sometimes you have to go back to basics on stuff. So we'll work on a website. In all seriousness, we have a process we take our clients through when it comes to websites and getting the brief so that they don't do what I've done to Mark this morning, which is like, here's 10% of an idea, please run with it. We make sure that stuff doesn't happen with our clients, okay? And we kind of coach them through it. We hold their hands through the process. And then we get to the bit where we talk about privacy policies and all that sort of stuff. And it's kind of like, it's a must-have on your website. There's no way getting around it. And our advice to our clients is always, really make sure you've got a strong privacy policy. Don't just go and like make something up or get a template or anything like that. Anyway, so Mark's like going, okay, well, if I shift this and this and this around in my workflow, if you can give me this afternoon, I can make, I can do this and this. We kind of got a plan. And he's like, but I will need your privacy policy. And literally in that moment, I was like, well, if there's no form on it and there's no this, and if I don't put Google Analytics on, and it's like, he can see me thinking this all through. And he's like, Christina, you can't not have a privacy policy. I'm like, okay.
Or we'd have to like take the built by green umbrella off the bottom of it because we wouldn't be able to be associated with it.
That privacy policy is the bit that often trips up clients, though, isn't it? Because they kind of think, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to create that. Where do I go? Where do I start?
Yeah, and I think it's because it's like, it's not exciting. The rest of it is really exciting. So let's talk about brand and colours and the visuals, and let's get the copy and what is the message and what pages we're going to have and how are they going to work, and the menu, like we were talking about menus and that, and there were bits where I'm like, oh, we'll leave that bit for now. Mark's like, no, we've got to get it now to build the structure in. It's like, you need a privacy policy is really boring in comparison with the rest of that stuff.
Exactly.
I'll sort that later. Just make that bit look nice.
Absolutely. But it just goes straight. Even when you know what you're doing and you do it like inside out all day, every day, I think sometimes it's like those basics that just can get overlooked.
Mm.
Things like having the right address on stuff. It's like make sure your phone number's correct. Google My Business, is it actually linking through to your website? All those little things, those little basic things, I think that it's, and if you watch this, whatever it is you do, so my big lesson today is, Christina, you might know a lot, but are you actually remembering everything you know and implementing it every single day? So I think whatever it is you do, just think like, what are the most basic things I have to tell my clients? Am I actually doing that myself? Because that was a little bit of stopped me in my tracks this morning, didn't you, Mark?
No, there's always a way. There just needs to be an actual plan and some content to go with it.
There's tons of content.
Yeah, but it's all up there.
Oh man. Cool. Okay, but yeah, like I said, the big news is the podcast is a year old next week. Ooh. I can't believe it. I'm like proud of myself.
Yeah, you should be. I was about to say who should be your favourite guest, but you can't pick one out.
So the episode that I've recorded, there are some stuff there. I've interviewed I've had some amazing conversations. Ooh. There's a couple of people that are had a real effect on me. Like I really remember like how excited I was to interview. There's one person where I was really excited about interviewing them. There's one actually where I was really nervous of interviewing them. I probably should have talked about that in the podcast. There's someone that was had so much knowledge to share around a particular topic that I really feel like that's the episode I learned the most from. Mm. So it's a weird thing. But I've learned a lot in spending a year doing it, because there's been a few times where I haven't kept the consistency because I didn't give myself any flexibility in my plan. So that's a bit of a no to Mark, actually, on that one. Like, it's like, you've got to have a plan. Yes, you've got to have a plan, but we need a bit of flexibility sometimes. So there's times where I've kind of like not been able to stay ahead of things, and then like guests have let me down and stuff like that. And rather than just go, sod it, I'll do, because I do an interview with a guest and then I do a solo episode. It's just me talking crap. And like, if I've not had that next interview, it's kind of stopped me. Whereas I just need to think, sod it, and just carry on. And it's more important I get something out every week. But yeah, it's kind of, I'm really excited for the next year of it. It's like, I can't believe I've done a year already. I'm definitely not bored of it, and I get bored of things pretty quick. So yeah, it's excited. I might have a little podcast party all on my own.
Oh, you should. Maybe not on your own.
I'll dress in red. I can, like, Asda, you can get the like photos put on cakes, can't you? I could do that.
just by yourself.
I like cake.
Fair enough. Why not celebrate yourself? That is very British, where we're all going, oh no, celebrate an achievement. How could you?
Do you know, isn't it weird, that kind of and this does like come around to social media. Okay, it's one of the great things you can do on social in terms of your content, in terms of content that's really going to engage. It's celebrate. I said that really weird then. Celebrating stuff. Okay, but no one. I was like, oh yeah, well, I don't want people to think I'm showing off. It's like, shut up, do it. Get over yourself.
Yeah, there will always be some people that are like, look at that, but they're not the people you should crave approval from them, because if they're not your true friends or people that support you. So I was chatting to a good pal of mine, saying that I tend to only post on social media when I'm in a really good mood. And it's because I'm happy and I want to share these things with people, to go, look, I've had a lovely weekend, or look, I'm really proud of this project, or I'm in the office with you guys and so I'm happy about it. I want to celebrate that. So it tends to be, so if I'm really quiet on that, it's probably someone check in on me if I'm not ever sharing anything. But yes, it's not because you're showing, well, for me, I'm sure it's the same for other people. It's because you're so happy about that. You want to share that positivity, so I think it's a good thing. Yeah. So yeah, celebrate you. Why not?
Absolutely. Because, my ego wasn't big enough in the first place, was it? But, there is a flip side with this stuff as well. It's like, sometimes the more you celebrate, you're going to have those people that want to celebrate with you. You're going to have those people that, basically don't notice because you're not important enough to them. And that's their choice. But you always get those people as well that they're just jealous. They're just unpleasant individuals. So whatever, like the keyboard warriors, the haters, the trolls, the whatever label you want to slap on them, and however you want to define it. And I always think, like, when that stuff comes out, I always think good, because actually now I know there's someone I definitely don't want to work with, or sometimes I can see it's like come from a place of jealousy, and I'm like, it's their jealousy, it's their frustration that's manifested in that way. And there's a little naughty bit of me that just goes, I can't wait to send you an invoice, because one day you are going to be my client. It's so there's a little bit. I see it's a little bit of a challenge sometimes, but I just think we all have that little bit of a fear of being seen, being called out, whatever it might be. And I just think that we all have to just feel the fear and do it anyway, because it is going to happen. If you're doing it consistently, it is going to happen, and that's kind of how stuff's working. When you reach it, when your reach is enough that it's not just your mum seeing it anymore. There's other people seeing it too. It's kind of like, that's when it's really working. And I think people see it as this reason not to go forward, whereas actually the chance you might get a little bit of negativity here and there is actually even more reason to do it. It's kind of like, actually, that, you know, it should be a goal. I want a hater. I want someone to troll me, you know.
You wouldn't do it, Jane, because you just apologise all the time.
Yeah, you're too nice. You're too nice. But you know, and don't get me wrong, when it happened, you know, someone's calling your names, it's not a pleasant experience. It really isn't. But if you've conducted yourself in such a way that you're a bit of an arsehole, right, you're going to get the negativity and no one's going to stand up for you. If you're doing all the right things, you will get some negativity along the way anyway. But all those people that you have helped, given value to, served, whatever, however you want to describe it, quite often when you see it happen, it's not that person that posted in the first place defending themselves. It's all those people that support them that are actually kind of going, actually, no, you've got it wrong here. That's your problem. It's not what this person said. That's you. So yeah, there you go. That's my 2 penneth.
It's made me I've got Taylor Swift in my head now with the shake it off. Haters gonna hate.
Keep going, Amanda.
Go on.
There you
Mark,
go. Now you all have that little earworm in your head.
So, Mark, the guitar's behind you. You should have just like it was straight in there. No.
Yeah, we'll have practice for next time, Amanda.
Yeah.
This is Live Lunch the musical now.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
No.
No, actually, don't even think
It's a
about
spin-off series, Jane.
I always said, like, honestly, like the whole point of this show is that this is what, if someone dropped in for coffee in the office, we're all in here. This is the stuff we talk about. This is who we are, right? So why wouldn't we do a Live Lunch the musical?
And then I think you got those words wrong. Why would we?
I think we should go for it. Right, okay. Is there anything the only thing I really wanted to do was go, yay me, about the podcast. We've talked about some new stuff. We talked about the data thing. We even got Mark talking about email marketing. Is there anything we haven't talked about this week that we want to do before we go?
I haven't got anything else.
Can't think of anything.
We seem to have raced through it all today, don't we? It's good.
Yeah.
It's
A
good.
reminder to everyone who's got their social media scheduled. So if they use a scheduling tool, bank holiday on Monday. So, you know, make sure you've got that factored in rather than kind of standard stuff.
Yeah, give us a call. The office is shut. Don't want any of that going out on Monday.
No.
Cool. Okay. Well, that's us done. Look out for Social Snippet coming out next week after I've written my 2 pages of content that Mark's waiting on. Add it to the list of things Mark wants from me at the minute. And yeah, we'll see you all next week for another live lunch. We'll give you a little wave like we do. Get the little screenshot for the YouTube thumbnail. And yeah, have we got a guest next week?
Yeah, we've got Anthony McCormack joining us next week.
Anthony McCormack, fantastic.
Ooh.
So Anthony he's a construction recruiter and an author. So yeah, we'll be having a little bit of a chat, actually picking up on some of the things that we talked about in last week's episode as well, in terms of, you know, the great big resignation and employability and that sort of stuff. And yeah, there'll be a few things to talk about next week. Cool. Have an awesome week, everyone. Thursday, 12 o'clock, Green Umbrella Live Lunch on YouTube, my LinkedIn profile, and the Facebook page. I nearly forgot them. I will see you all soon. I think I'm going to go and lie down in a dark room and try to nap this bit now. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.